Okay, this is our review for graphing linear equations, and we have to review graphing these equations because in the next couple of sections you're going to be graphing what we call piecewise functions. And so if you don't remember how to graph regular linear equations, then you're going to have problems with that. So we're going to graph y equals 1/2 x plus 2. There's two ways you can do this. You can make a t-chart, which is what they've started here, and choose values for x to plug in to get your y values. So we're going to do this first, and then we're going to graph it using our slope and our y-intercept. So the first number they're choosing to plug in is -2. So I'm going to work the problems over here. I have 1/2 times -2 plus 2. When I multiply 1/2 times -2, that's going to give me -1 plus 2, which is a positive 1. So my y value is 1 when my x value is -2. So now let's plug 2 in. I have 1/2 times 2 plus 2. 1/2 times 2 is 1, and I add 2 to that, I get 3. Okay, I'm going to plug in 4. 1/2 times 4 plus 2. So 1/2 times 4 is 2 plus 2, so I get 4. And then I'm going to plug 7 in. 1/2 times 7 plus 2, that's 7/2 plus 2. Okay, so let's think about this. 7/2 is the same thing as 3.5 plus 2. So that's going to be 5 and 1/2, or I could call that 11 over 2. So since I'm graphing, I'm going to go ahead and call it 5 and 1/2. Okay, so I'm going to plot these points. -2, 1, so to the left 2, up 1. There's my first point. 2, 3, so to the right 2, up 3, 1, 2, 3. The point 4, 4, so to the right 4, up 4. And 7, 5/2, so to the right 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up 5.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Okay, so if I do this correctly, those should go in a straight line. And let's see if I can get it to match up here. So if I were doing better, let me redo that. Let me start it right here. Whoops. So something like that. Okay. Get rid of this one. All right, and when we draw our lines, we need arrows on both ends. Okay. Now let's graph this as if I didn't want to do a t-chart. Okay, I'm going to do this in blue. I know that my y-intercept is 2. There's my y-intercept. And then I know my slope is 1/2. So from this point, I would go up 1 over 2. There's my point. Up 1 over 2. There's my point. Up 1 over 2. So you see my line is off just a little bit. So that's how I would graph that line without having to do a t-chart. All right, and I may -2, let's be -1 plus 2. Okay, I was just checking my work here to see if I did any math incorrectly. All right, so let's do another one. I have y equals x minus 2. So we're going to do it both ways. We're going to do it doing a t-chart and then by just using my y-intercept and my slope. So when I plug -5 in, okay, I'm going to do it over here. Y equals -5 minus 2. So that gives me -7. When I plug -3 in, I get y equals -3 minus 2. So that gives me -5. Y equals 0 minus 2, so that's -2. And y equals 5 minus 2, so that gives me 3. So I'm going to plot those points. To the left, I'm going to plot the point -5, -7. So to the left 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Down 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, there's my first one. The point -3, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0, -2. and then 5, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So remember, these are just ordered pairs. So then I would draw in my line and see if I have to kind of guess where I'm going to intersect these. So there's my line. Okay, now let's do it as if we didn't want to have to do the t-chart. Okay, when I'm graphing without the t-chart, I always make sure it's solve for y. Find my y-intercept. My y-intercept is -2. And my slope is the number in front of the x. If I don't have one, it's a 1. So that means I go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Or I could go down to the left, down to the left. Do you see I end up with the exact same line? Okay, so let's look at the next one. Now I'm going to graph this without a t-chart. We're just going to solve for y, put it in slope-intercept form, and graph it from there. So the first thing we have to do, let's solve for y. And there is a way to do this without solving for y, but this is what we're going to do for now. So if I solve for y, I'm going to subtract 5x. And I have 2y equals -5x minus 8. Divide by -2. And when I divide by -2, I divide everything by -2. So now I have y equals -5 over 2. I'm not going to change that to a decimal. We're going to leave it just like that since it won't go evenly. Minus 8 over 2 is 4. So now we're going to graph this. Let's find our y-intercept. Our y-intercept is always the number without the x. So my y-intercept is -4. And from this point, I'm going to graph my slope. Remember, slope is y over the difference of your y's over the difference of your x's. Okay. Now it says -5, so that means I would go down 5 to the right 2, but I'm going to run out of room. Okay. So instead of putting that negative with the 5, I'm going to put it with the 2 so I don't run out of room. So that means I can go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to the left 2, 1, 2. And if I wanted to do it again for another point, I could. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to the left 2, and I'd be off there. So there's my 2 points. And then you're going to connect those points. And I can't see what I'm drawing here. I have to guess where I'm going to intersect, so it's not very pretty, but you guys will have rulers, and it's going to be all nice and neat. All right, let's do another one. Okay, I want this in slope-intercept form, so the first thing we're going to do is solve for y. So I have 2y equals 3x plus 6. Divide by 2, and when I divide by 2, I divide everything by 2. So I have y equals 3 over 2. It won't go evenly, so I leave it as an improper fraction, plus 6 over 2, which is 3. So I always graph my y-intercept first. So I'm going to go up to 3. That's my first point. Then from this point, here's my slope. Okay, so I can go up 3 to the right 2. Okay, or since I'm going to be off of my graph, I can do the opposite of that and go to the down 3, 1, 2, 3, to the left 2. Down 3, 1, 2, 3, to the left 2. Or I could have gone up 3, 1, 2, 3, to the right 2. Okay, either way, you should get the same line. And again, I'm going to miss my points. Oh, I did better that time. Okay, and there's my line. We should automatically know that this has a positive slope. I have a positive slope, a positive 3/2. My y-intercept is 3. All right, so you're going to be doing some graphing on your worksheets today. And make sure you watch your Constitution video.